Child safety pitted against parental rights. Some people who are tasked with caring for abused and neglected children say Washington lawmakers and the state's Division of Children, Youth and Families are choosing the rights of some drug-abusing parents over protecting children. And they say children are dying because of it.
4 News Now's Robin Nance investigates the piece of legislation that some say tipped the scales and put children in grave danger.
Babies and children abused, neglected, or killed by their own parents. Many of those kids got a hold of drugs and accidentally overdosed in their homes, or, as in this latest case made public just weeks ago, in a Spokane Valley hotel. This woman faces charges because police say her 2-year-old got a hold of a spoon with fentanyl residue on it. Amy Parks has been a foster mom for 9 years. She and her husband adopted a child out of state care, a child who was horrifically abused by her biological mother and another man.
And has severe trauma from her torture.
These are the only pictures of the abuse we can show you on TV.
We're supposed to be protecting the kids, and we're not.
Amy's child was first screened into CPS when someone saw her mother doing drugs with the child in the car. The biological mom at first participated in a safety plan, but later refused, even refusing drug testing. The state gave her custody of her child anyway.
They just left it like that, and 10 months later, she nearly died.
She was beaten, burned, tortured. There's now a lawsuit in that child's name accusing the state of negligence. Amy believes the state will face many more of these suits because of House Bill 1227. Passed by the legislature in 2021, it's called the Keeping Families Together Act. Its intent is to safely reduce the number of children placed into foster care, making it harder to remove a child from a home. The standard now requires a showing that the removal is necessary to prevent imminent physical harm to the child. The law goes on to clarify that things like inadequate housing or substance abuse do not by themselves constitute imminent physical harm, and that the possible physical harm to the child must outweigh the harm that will occur as a result of the removal from the home. Since it went into effect in July of 2023, it has reduced the number of children placed into foster care by about 28%. But in that same time period, the number of deaths and near deaths of children on the DCYF radar has shot up 114%.
Not only are kids and parents dying, there are kids who are being maimed or seriously neglected throughout this, and neglect has basically been written completely out of the statute. So that's why I'm talking out about this, is kids are at serious risk.
This local social worker is afraid of losing their job for speaking out, which is why we are concealing their identity. But they're so concerned about what the Keeping Families Together Act is doing, they want you to know the dangers it's creating for the littlest victims of the drug epidemic in Washington. Are there specific circumstances where you have had to leave a child in an unsafe situation because of this?
Yes.
How many times do you think that has happened?
You know, it's hard to say, but I would say just since HB 1227 was put into place in July of 2023, every day.
I reached out to a number of local legislators about the law, including Spokane's Tim Ormsby, who was one of the sponsors of HB 1227. He didn't want to comment. I also reached out to new Secretary of DCYF, Tana Sen. She wouldn't comment, but her office directed me to this report. It says, no changes need to be made. And in the word of Sen's predecessor, Ross Hunter, the increase in child fatalities and near fatalities is not driven by the change of removal standards, but the availability of highly addictive and hazardous drugs combined with a lack of substance use disorder treatment. It goes on to say that there are helpful services and tools offered to these parents, including harm reduction kits that include a lockbox, fentanyl testing strips, Narcan, and educational material about the dangers of synthetic opioids.
That's insane. That we should not be doing that, and we should absolutely not be providing lockboxes for people's fentanyl. That's nuts.
35th District Representative Travis Couture has proposed House Bill 1092, legislation he says that will combat what he sees as policies that favor the rights of drug addicts over the safety of children.
If you are high on meth, if you are high on fentanyl or heroin or other hard drugs, you have lost the capacity to care for and nurture your children because you have lost the capacity to pretty much even do that for yourself.
We always talk about how child welfare is kind of a pendulum. It swings one way is child safety, the other is parental rights. And right now we are so over towards parental rights that we're about to flip over the swing set.
They say that removing children from biological parents is traumatic, but it's less traumatic than being dead.
In Spokane, Robin Nance, 4 News Now.